Rabbi Singer, Mazel Tov. It is so exciting to be able for all of us to be together, and that you are Rabbi Singer. You've been Rabbi Singer to us since the days that we met you, but now knowing that it's become official, HUC and all, it's wonderful to welcome all of us. And gosh, it's always fun to just see all of us together. And so, Rabbi Singer, we're so excited for what you're going to share with us today. We need your wisdom. We're looking forward to it.
Great. Well, thank you so much. And it is just so comforting to be starting this new big chapter of my life, knowing that it's going to be with all of you and to be together in Chicago in person. I have an apartment now. I'm so excited. It's just, I'm just waiting for it all to come to life. So thank you. And I can't wait. So I wanted to start off by saying that 2 Sundays ago, I spent 6 hours, maybe 7 hours making lasagna. I was inspired by Samin Nosrat. Did any of you see this lasagna?
I love those.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes, exactly. At first I saw, she said everybody around the country is going to make lasagna. I thought, do I really need to do that? I'm not sure if it's worth it. But then she wrote an article where she talked about how Abraham Joshua Heschel would have wanted us all to make lasagna and together. And then I thought, okay, well, there's no way that I can't do this. Like, I have to be a part of this. And I didn't look at the directions that carefully. And my mom kept saying, Rena, it might be a good idea to start kind of early. And I said, no, it's going to be totally fine. My family said, there was an option. You could either make the noodles by hand or make pre-made noodles. My family said, you have to use pre-made noodles. I said, absolutely not. I'm making them by hand. I started at 4 o'clock and we ate dinner at 10 p.m. that night. And it was a full day activity. We felt very European. And honestly, I will be honest, I'm sorry this is not humble. It was an extremely good lasagna. The ingredients made a huge difference. I was very proud of it, but I had this question of, was it worth it to spend all of that time making this one thing? And what was the purpose of doing that? It tasted delicious, and then it was gone. And I was thinking about it, and I remembered this quote from the Talmud. It's actually we usually quote the Babylonian Talmud. This one is actually from the Palestinian Talmud, the Talmud from the land of Israel, that my friend Rabbi Matt Green taught me last year, where it's basically this story about a person dies and they go to heaven and they meet up with God, and they are told that they have to account for or explain every time in their life that they had an opportunity to do something fun or joyous or beautiful or delightful, and they decided not to do it. And they have to explain to God why they didn't do that fun, joyous, delightful thing. And I love that story because I think that there is immense guilt right now about moments of joy. There is so much suffering happening in our world. And I think there's this feeling that, okay, if there's so much suffering, then we also, as Jews, a lot of the time we feel like we're supposed to be suffering as well. And I think we want to be really mindful of the struggle that is happening and of all of the hard things. But this text reminds me that there isn't a belief in Judaism that we're supposed to suffer. There may be a lot of suffering that comes along with being Jewish and that comes along with being human, but we're actually supposed to seek out joy even in difficult moments in our lives in order to counteract all of the hardship that takes place. And so I wanted to ask all of you, what are ways that you are actively seeking out joy in these moments? I know you're all really busy. I know we're all in very different circumstances, but I wanted to find out, what are you all doing?
Rabbi Singer, you are so welcome in our clergy study. I am so grateful you're with us. That's what I needed. That's exactly what I needed this week, especially. It was a very hard week. So that grounded me. I love that idea. First of all, I love that after we've lived our lives out in full, that we still have to psychoanalyze ourselves and still look back and say, I didn't do it because I was fearful, because I was afraid. And whether it's because we're afraid to look happy these days, we're afraid to feel it, or all of the moments throughout our lives, I just love that that's a reminder to us that every time we look at some adventure ahead of us, somebody scuba diving, and think, I would love to do that. And we never did. And I love that we have to answer for that. That's fantastic. My answer is going to drive the rest of the rabbis crazy because they have to hear about this all the time. But welcome, Rabbi Singer. Now you're going to have to hear about this all the time. And so is everyone watching this on Facebook. I love crew. I love rowing, and I did it in college for all 4 years. So something I've tapped back into was that I managed to get the last erg rowing machine on Amazon. Try to get it online, folks. You will not find it. I got the last one, and I put it together myself because of the coronavirus. I couldn't even get a handyman in here. And it takes me back to a time when life was simpler for me, when my dad was paying for college and everything else. And I want to go back there. I go back there every morning. It's just a side note that it gets me a little bit healthier, but I really do it as a true indulgence of nostalgia and the past. So thank you. Thank you for those words.
Well, thank you, Cantor Ben David. And wow, Rabbi Singer, what a wonderful and amazing teaching that is so applicable, so important for these days. When I thought about it, first of all, it reminded me of some of the teachings of Martin Buber, who taught that authentic living is not up on a mountain, denying yourself the pleasures of life, being alone and aesthetic. It's down in the valley with the real experiences, with people, with nature. It's with engagement in the world. So what do I do to find those moments of joy? Well, among the many things, I'm sure I'll figure all them out. Among the many things that that we're doing is taking long walks. We live around Diversey and Southport, and we go east, west, north, and south. And what we really love doing is looking at the homes, some amazing homes, some big, some really small. We go and sometimes if we're curious, we'll go inside virtually by looking them up on the internet. And it really has become kind of a hobby that Fran and I can share. And when we do that, the other stuff just doesn't exist. So thank you, Rabbi Singer, for lifting up that wonderful and important text.
Nice. Maayan and I are also going on a lot of those more like home architecture walks. Have been really exciting. Have been really like something nice to look forward to each day. But Rabbi Singer, I'm so excited to have you in Chicago with us. We've been talking a lot about like the exciting things that you have to look forward to here, and just so deeply excited. Especially one of the things that you and I discussed was how much we both love putting together IKEA furniture. And you're like, no, I'll call you when I need to put it together. I was like, yes, because that's one of the things that I've been really enjoying. Over the past 2.5, 3 weeks, my wife Maayan and I redid our master bathroom. We did a lot of painting of the cabinet. We repainted the walls, and I did 2 newish skills. I did a decent amount of electrical work of creating a new fixture in the wall, and did some behind the wall work, patched up all these holes, and did a plumbing work as well, and completely changed out the plumbing. And this aspect of working with my hands and having a really complete project has been something that has been really giving me joy. I deeply, deeply love rabbinical work. And a lot of our work is a little bit like in the ether. We're working really hard to make the world a better place. And I don't get to say like, okay, it's done, let's go. And so having projects that I get to do, that I actually get to click off, like that is fully done, that gives me a lot of delight. Thanks.
Oh, I love that. I love this question. I love the teaching that you brought to us. I love hearing from our clergy. What are those things for them? I knew a little, and I think we all probably could have called this for each other, right? Like, it's so funny. I love this. I think for me, there are a few things. One, I'll just say that I've really loved is every Thursday now, my siblings and I, there's a lot of us, so we grew up 7 of us together. So the surviving siblings, we talk every Thursday. And we have this Zoom happy hour with all of us. And it's fun because like we're so different and we're so close. And we've always been reaching out to each other singly in different ways at different times, and especially after my parents died. But I just can imagine how much they must love that. I think that would be their biggest dream, that we would all be so close and that we would be reaching out to each other. And so it brings me great joy, and it brings me great joy that I'm doing this thing that I think would bring my parents great joy. Another thing that I love is that we are actively pursuing getting a dog. I put this out on Facebook so that way I can just really reaffirm, yes, we are trying to go through this process. Damien, my husband, is meticulous about it all. So there are lots of things that we are researching. But I love this process as a family, going through and looking at, like, one of our sons is allergic to dogs, so seeing what are going to be our favorite breeds, then having these conversations with all these different people who are helping us to get good input. And it's so much fun. And Ben went on our 10-year-old went on a hunger strike for fully 5 hours and would only watch dog movies because he really wanted to show how much we need to get a dog. That's just been so much fun. And I have to say, for me, one of my very favorite things is getting to do these kinds of learnings, like with us, and then also with people in our community, like all of these ways of really building community around these amazing Jewish wise texts, songs, things that have given our people hope for so long, and continuing to explore them and mine them for all they can teach us today. It brings me such joy. So when we have to do this final accounting, I just have to say that one of my things that I'm going to say I will never take for granted is what it's like to gain such joy from this team, from this incredible clergy team, that I feel like we never take each other for granted. And Rabbi Singer, you're going to fit right in. And Rabbi Rossoff, you're always going to be part of this team, no matter where you go. You have been such a wise leader for all of us. And so we will never, ever stop being grateful for all that you teach us, and from all the joy that we bring to one another, and all the joy then that we are able to get from our incredible community. So it's been wonderful. Thank you so much. Rabbi Singer, thank you for your brilliant teaching and from your reflections. We love it.
Thanks, rabbis.
Thanks. Have a good week, everyone.
Have a good week. See you on Shabbat.
Have a good week. Thank you.